Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So what can we say to sum up our previous race at Charlotte, which was the first race of this second round of the playoffs, the round of 12. And I think you could say crazy, weird. There were wrecks everywhere. I think we were involved in a total of 3 wrecks, I think, during that race, if I remember correctly, at least 2, and I'm thinking 3 wrecks. But that was pretty wild. And so we had multiple spins and contact, and we were all over the place in that race, but managed to bring home a top 20 and almost a top 15. Yes, we did lose some points, but overall shouldn't be that big of a deal, except that now we're headed to Talladega. And look, I've mentioned it before, Talladega and Daytona in this game are not races I look forward to because it's a simple formula that you use at those places. You hug the bottom, run right around that double yellow line, and the AI will eventually open up and give you plenty of room to get by them. All you have to really do is make sure that you keep up your momentum so that whenever you do pull down to the inside, that you're able to keep that momentum and keep that position and make passes. Like I said, the AI will open up, particularly off the corners. They like to slide up the racetrack, and that's your opportunity to get on the inside of them, headed down the straightaway, and then simply have position on them going into the next corner. So it's almost like you run it like any other track, really, instead of the drafting. So it's not a track I look forward to because of that. There's really no outside lane or anything like that. But now we need to come home with a good finish. I still plan to have the usual amount of fun. If we can get to the front, I'm still going to have fun. We'll just have to maybe be a little bit more careful about where we finish, as opposed to some of the times in the past here where I've gotten to the front and then decided that I didn't care where we finished and just started having all the fun that I could squeeze into the number of laps available. But those are all things that we'll have to see. Can we get to the front? Can we stay there? These are all questions we'll have to answer at Talladega. All right, before we get the race started, we'll take a quick look at the setup, and it is exactly the same as what we used last time. Speed is just not an issue here. The one thing I did change is under the miscellaneous settings, I changed the steering offset. Some of the races, particularly lately that we've been running, I've had a lot of issues with a dead zone in the center of the wheel. Now that is an issue that this wheel has overall, so it's not a huge surprise, but it seems like to me it's been worse over some of the last several races. So the steering offset is something I'm just sort of testing out to see if that helps it or hurts it. So last time we raced here, the steering offset was at 0. Now it is 1 notch above that, and I just want to see how that affects the feel of the wheel. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. We'll have to see. But that takes care of the setup. Let's get this race started. All right, green flag here at Talladega, and of course we're starting on the outside, and I'll just sort of stay with that for now. But very quickly we'll work our way back to the back so that we can get to the bottom. There we go. You can see one car is way behind. So these guys are already getting 3 wide. Let's see. Now let's stick to the bottom. We're going to try to push Earnhardt. If he's going to try to block us, then we're just going to try to push him to the front as much as we can, where there are opportunities to do so. So I'm definitely lifting off the throttle right now, not because I need to get through the corner, but because I'm right now just trying to give these guys a chance to get going and trying to get a feel for things. Going to try to get all the momentum we can, and then whenever we get to the corner, times like this, I'll lift off the gas and try to settle it down a little bit so we don't get too close to the car in front of us until it's time to make the pass. So because these guys are running 2 and 3 wide, every pass we make is basically passing 2 to 3 cars, not just one. So now we're up to 30th position. It feels like we've only passed about 3 cars. Oh. So everybody got slowed down in that corner. We'll try to use this as an opportunity to make several passes, and so far so good. Really wish there was an outside lane that you could run with. Wish the drafting was better. Of course, wish the AI was better. Because, man, it can really be fun. If you can ever get drafting right with the AI, then you can really get some great racing at these types of tracks. We were able to do that in NR 2003. After a lot of work with the AI, you can get them to use the high side and you can get them to run some good laps. But still, ultimately, it comes down to being good on the bottom. Let's see, we don't quite have the momentum this time. Not yet. There we go. We finally get to the inside of Dega, and we are very close to being in the top half of the field after only 4 laps. Okay, I was completely out of the gas there. And yet we're still going to have enough momentum, I think, to get to the inside of the 38. And sure enough, all right, excellent. So again, the recipe here, hold the bottom. Try to time your run to have momentum coming off the corner, and then that's where you can make your passes. If you can't get the run off the corner, try to get in behind and draft a little bit, and that'll generally get you enough momentum to get position on the car in front of you. So as you can see, we're on lap 5, and we're in the top 20, almost to the top 15. So there's no need to rush. You've got plenty of time, and you'll get to the front pretty quickly. You can see here they leave the entire bottom of the track open. Ooh, slow down. All right, we'll try to get to the inside of Hamlin, and he's going to block that. Nope, he gave us just enough room to squeeze in here. That'll be multiple positions we'll pick up there. That'll get us up all the way to 12th. Whew. Menard's going to go down there with us to the bottom. Right, let's move up out of the way just for a second. See if we can't get a good run. There we go. All right, now we come up on Junior, and poor Stenhouse Jr. is up on the outside. Would love to get up there and give him some help and push him around, which we'll try to do if we can get to the front here. We'll try to get out on the outside and push whoever's out there. We're still going to have some fun like we normally do on these tracks. See if we got enough momentum. Nope, not quite enough this time to get by Joey. Alright, there we go. Now we've made our way to the front. You can see we've got a great run. Look at this momentum. And we'll blast right by all of them and get our way to the lead. So now starts the fun. We got 24 laps total in this race, and I do not plan to hug the bottom and try to defend the lead the entire time. So I'm going to let these guys, let's just see what they want to do. But hopefully we can have some fun. I would love it if they would pass me on the outside. That would be awesome, because that would give us a chance to actually do some racing. So let's see what happens. See if these guys behind me can get up some momentum and see what happens. So I'm going to give them plenty of room on the bottom to make passes. I see a couple of guys down there trying to make some room. Meanwhile, I'll just swerve around, have a little bit of fun. All right, so we're way down on speed here. These guys ought to have a lot of momentum coming up on us. And looks like Harvick is going to pull to the inside. There we go. All right, I'm going to let him have the bottom. Let's get this thing going. So we're coming up on halfway point of the race. So you can see how quickly our momentum comes back now that these guys are up around us. This is where it would be lots of fun to have an established upper groove that worked. Because we've got Keselowski with us. But unfortunately, we're having to do all the work. We could sort of maintain right here. We lose a lot in the corners, a lot of space in the corners. A little bump right there. We're going to pull him behind the 4, draft him, and that'll get us right back up to his door. So as you can see, I mean, there you can do a little bit on the outside, but not enough. And the 43 just keeps bumping us in the corner, trying to move us out of his way. And once again, we're up to the door of the 4. Oh, watch out. We must be 3 wide. Because he was pushing us up the track there. And yeah, it does appear as though we were 3 wide. Alright, so you can see 3rd groove just not there. Of course, we don't have any help up here right now. But even if we did, now let's have a little bit of fun. Let's see if we can squeeze through here. And let's see if we can push Junior to the front. Now he told me clear high too quick. I thought Harvick was still there. Well, so much for that plan. And unfortunately, these guys behind us will not push us in the same way to get us to the front. Nice momentum for us. But we are all alone out here right now. The nearest help for us is about 3 car lengths back, if not more. Alright, so at this point what we'll do is we'll look for a way to get back down to the bottom, and we'll start the process over again. Alright, let's see if we can clear a path on the back straightaway here. No, didn't quite have enough room. So we'll stay with it. And, oh, who knows, we got a car to work with on the outside now. We might be able to get up there to them and use them to push back to the lead. All right, let's see if we can do just that with Stenhouse. See if we can choreograph this just right to get him back to the front. And get off of him a little bit in the corners, And then coming off the corners, this is where we want to really get on him hard as soon as we get onto the straightaway, particularly. And you can see we're making up some nice room there. All right, not bad. We'll try it again when we get back on the front stretch here. Now, none of this has any effect on the engine temperature, which it normally would have a huge effect on it whenever we get right up against him and start to push him like this. But in this game, it doesn't make any difference at all. All right, so I think this is going to work out quite nicely. And as long as he will play along, nope, he's actually, it seems, dragging the brake right now. Because we should have had a lot more speed than that, but he was having trouble getting by the 41. But this is the most fun that I think we can have right now on these tracks, is just trying to basically push somebody to the lead. All right, so he goes to the bottom, so now the 43 is the car in front of us to push. So it's a good move on the 17's part. To get down there. Now the 43 will do the same. Alright, we're going to push Almirola way out there. Now we got room to get down on the bottom and slingshot past him. We're going to hang with him for a little bit here. We're only at lap 17. Keep pushing him. Drag the brake a little bit and get off of him. You can see the guys behind us have dropped back quite a bit. They'll be back though. All right, now we've got a nice run. We'll try to get this lead back. You can see that the pack is coming right back to us. And we'll try to start the process over again. Well, 43 is going to get home on the outside. We'll go up here, move out of the way and let these guys come through. Alright, so now what we need is a few cars to get by us and somebody to come up to the high side, somebody for us to push. That's really what we need right now. Because the 43 is behind us and he can sort of keep us around, but we're not going to be able to get where we need to go with the 43 pushing, because he's just not going to push hard enough to make anything happen. Yeah, in order to pick up any drafting help whatsoever, we have to fall back. Ooh, ouch. We have to fall back several car lengths to pick up the 43, who's the only other car around us right now on the high side. There we go. 17 car decided he's coming out there. But I think he's going back to the bottom. Yeah, he does. I got excited. I thought we were going to get to push Truex to the lead. All right, looks like the 17 is coming back to the high side. There we go. That's what we needed. All right, so here we go. Coming off the corner. We'll try to line up and give him a shove back to the lead. All right, 22 is going to come up and block that on the straightaway, so we lose a lot of speed there. We could have been a lot faster and, in fact, probably gotten the 17 by the 22. All right, yeah, so 22 is going to block that. Right now, we're still pushing as hard as we can so we can keep as much momentum as we possibly can. And then the moment that we can get this 22 not to block, the moment we can make a move. All right, he's going to continue to block here, but I think our timing is going to be pretty good. Let's see if we can get to his outside. Nope, couldn't quite make it. Can we go to his inside? Yes, we can. And now we'll give a little shove. And we may get this thing 3 wide. All right, sorry, Joey. If he gets 3 wide, I can't go with you. There we go. We'll go with Stenhouse right through the middle. All right, the only thing that didn't go perfectly there is we weren't able to get our way back down on the inside. But hey, I'll take it. All right, so, oh, this is the final lap. Look at me not paying attention. All right, yep, that's exactly what the 78 should have done. He bumped us up out of the way, killed our momentum. And now he's going to pull up in front of us, at least for now, which is fine with me. All right, so now we're clear low. We're going to hop in behind the 41. All right, he did not open up a lane for us there. But let's see, is he going to do it here? Yes, he is. All right, so it opened up for us there at the end, and we bring home the victory. So once again, you can manufacture your own fun at these tracks. You just have to be willing to take the chances and have a little fun doing it. And understand that they don't always work out in your favor. This time it did, though. And we'll come home with the victory, which of course is huge for us and guarantees us a spot in the round of 8. Let's go ahead and move through these final screens. $310,000. All right, almost to $21 million. So now we'll secure our spot, the second spot that has been secured into the round of 8. And of course, Kurt Busch is sitting there thinking, man, I would have loved to have had that victory instead of only being 9 points to the good. So Logano, who also was having a very good race, he is in the final transfer spot with Junior just outside where he needs to be. Larson, Hamlin, they need some help. They're going to need Harvick and Logano and probably Busch to have a bad race in the third and final race of this particular segment in order to have really any shot of making it on. All right, fastest lap, as we all know, is pretty much useless at Daytona or Talladega, but Eric Almirola led 5 laps. So good job by him. Always nice to see that car running up front. So now we have a message from Ryan Blaney.
Wow, that was so close. Just wanted to say congrats on that amazing win.
Thank you very much, Ryan. All right, so up next is the third and final race of the second round, the round of 12, and that is at Kansas. So this point, the stress is off for us. We're looking for a lot of fun, and we're looking for a victory. So that'll be in our next episode. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more NASCAR Heat 2.